Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day, thanks to viewers, supporters, and sponsors just like you. And speaking of which, we have to give some shout-outs to John Hembrough, Levi Granton, Tales from the Man Cave, love that name, and Brian Best. Thank you all so much for supporting EPN. We got you this rundown. Over the weekend, Sony held their annual PlayStation Experience event, also known as PSX, and there are plenty of cool announcements to talk about. First up, the futuristic racing series Wipeout is finally speeding into the world of virtual reality. The recent Wipeout Omega collection, which consolidates 3 games in the series, is coming to the PlayStation VR headset early next year. It will have all the same tracks and modes from the existing non-VR version, along with new vehicles and customized cockpit interiors. We love the Wipeout series and VR racing games, so this is something we've been waiting for. Hopefully, it doesn't make us sick. Another big Sony game is also coming to VR. Sony has created a free VR experience based on The Last Guardian, where players can interact with the massive beast companion Trico. Sony stresses that this is just a demo experience, so don't expect it to be as long or in-depth as the full game. It hits the PSVR tomorrow, although if it's anything like the main game, don't be surprised if it's delayed by a decade or two. Sony also announced a cool new underwater VR game called Jupiter and Mars. It's a co-op puzzle game where you control a pair of dolphins in a bright neon aquatic world that will splash down in May 2018. It wasn't all VR at PSX. The 1998 PS1 game Medieval is getting a new remastered version for the PS4. The new version promises to be in 4K, although no actual gameplay has been released, so we're not sure exactly how it will look or how well it holds up. Finally, something that seems a little more simple has got PlayStation fans very excited. Players might soon be able to change their PSN usernames. In a stage interview with Kinda Funny's Greg Miller, Sony Interactive Entertainment President Sean Layden hinted that the name changes will be coming sometime next year, although he didn't provide any firm details.
Let me put it this way. I hope we'll see events occur that you don't have to ask me that question next PSA.
The ability to change your username is something people have wanted for years, so hopefully it comes sooner rather than later. Are your Spidey senses tingling? Because Sony's movie arm has unmasked another version of Spider-Man. Sony Pictures Animation has unveiled the first trailer for their stylish new big-screen animated movie SpiderMan Into the SpiderVerse. They're giving Peter Parker a break this time around because this film will feature the Miles Morales version of the character, making this his first time headlining his own movie. With Spider-Man Homecoming having just arrived earlier this year, general audiences might be confused by all these different Spider-Mans, but as the trailer points out, more than one can wear the mask.
Wait, so how many of us are there?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse will swing into theaters a year from now. Another Marvel hero will be back in action next year, and we're not talking about one of the Avengers. Netflix and Marvel have announced that the second season of Jessica Jones will be available for your binge-watching needs on March 8th, 2018. Kristen Ritter returns as the disillusioned alcoholic private detective who sets out to find the origins of her superhuman strength. Judging by the trailer, it looks like Jessica Jones will be a little more willing to embrace her superhero side than in the first season, although not without a similar degree of sarcasm.
If you say with great power comes great responsibility, I swear I'll throw up on you.
Jessica Jones isn't the only Marvel hero returning to Netflix in 2018. Daredevil Season 3 is expected to follow later in the year, although the days of Marvel and Netflix collaborations might be numbered. Marvel's parent company Disney is working on their own proprietary streaming service, and when it goes online, they won't be working with rivals like Netflix anymore. Expect that in the next few years. I hope Hollywood has learned from the mistakes in the recent Ghost in the Shell movie, because here's something that we hope will be a lot better. Check out the first trailer for Alita Battle Angel, the big screen adaptation of the Japanese manga series of the same name. The film is directed by Sin City's Robert Rodriguez and produced by none other than James Cameron, which could explain the main character's Na'vi eyes. Like the manga, the film focuses on a female cyborg who takes on a vast high-tech conspiracy, although the story has been simplified considerably to fit it into a feature-length film. Hollywood has a pretty bad track record when it comes to adapting Japanese manga franchises, but both Rodriguez and Cameron are accomplished filmmakers and also huge fans of the Battle Angel books, so hopefully they'll make it work. We'll get to find out when the film hits theaters on July 20th. Street Fighter V might have been a little bit of a disappointment, but Capcom is fighting to keep the franchise relevant. Over the weekend at their annual Capcom Cup esports tournament, the publisher announced loads of new Street Fighter content. First up, they unveiled all 6 of the new playable characters coming to Street Fighter V in the game's Season 3 character pass. The pack includes the green monster Blanca and the villainous Sagat, along with a fan favorite Sakura, who has been teased for several months. That arrives January 16th. If you want a more classic Street Fighter experience, Capcom also announced the new Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which contains 12 classic games in the series. All of them promise to have the same familiar gameplay along with bonus goodies like concept art and music archives. That hits the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch in May 2018. If you want more Capcom nostalgia, arguably the most iconic Capcom character is coming to their new Monster Hunter world. It's getting a Mega Man themed gear pack, which includes a new 8-bit Mega Man skin for your catty Palico companions, along with Mega Man inspired weapons and the ability to listen to classic Mega Man chiptunes while you're playing. Capcom hasn't said how players will be able to get it, but expect to find out before Monster Hunter World arrives on January 26, 2018. The all-new Mega Man 11 is coming later in 2018. And that wraps up the rundown for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with a brand new episode from San Francisco tomorrow, so watch for that. In the meantime, check out some of the other content we've been putting up, and if you dig it, hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too.